Hello, friends. Megan Owen here from Mountain City Christian Counseling. I'd like to talk just a little bit about healthy conflict. It seems as though a lot of us know how to have a knockdown drag-out fight or how to avoid conflict altogether, but there is not that beautiful, beautiful, healthy conflict, which can be uncomfortable. And studies show that relationships are much stronger after healthy conflict. You can face almost anything. It seems as though all of the research points to relationships being better and stronger. So let me give you some hot tips for healthy conflict. First of all, you want to strike when the iron is cold. In other words, don't try to have healthy conflict when somebody is feeling a lot of anger or when things are very heated. Wait until things calm down, then approach with the healthy I statements. And what I mean by I statements is you point to yourself and you say something along the lines of, I feel violated when you come into my room to get something out of my makeup bag without asking. And then maybe the other person will say something along the lines of, violated, oh my gosh, tell me more about that. Okay, I'm going to tell you that I didn't feel respected and I didn't feel honored that you would go in my room without asking and rifle through my makeup bag. And then the other person might say, I can totally see that. Absolutely. I did go in your room without asking. I take full responsibility for that. I am sorry. I apologize, and it's not going to happen again. And then maybe that person who just apologized needs to say something along the lines of, I feel disrespected when you borrow my makeup and put it in your makeup bag without asking. And then that person starts to get curious, maybe ask questions, maybe ask for clarification. And then hopefully with two people who want to have healthy conflict, it will actually happen. But notice I said it has to be two people who actually want that, because trying to have healthy conflict with somebody who's abusive is not going to work because they get defensive and it's your fault, or they gaslight you, or something along those lines. So, number two, we don't get defensive. How about that? How about we kind of try to stay open and say, I want to hear more about how you're feeling. I want to honor your feelings. Your feelings are valid. This is all viable. We can work through this. It's not a big deal to take responsibility for the things you've done wrong. We've got to be okay with being wrong and making mistakes. And that goes back to needing to be okay with being human, with understanding that that's how we learn. The next hot tip is no loaded words, which means don't use big trigger words like you've triggered me. Like don't say things that are clinical. Don't use words like you're being narcissistic, those kinds of things. That's just painful, and that's just going to make things worse. Plus, we can't diagnose those things. So other examples of loaded words would be, you always do this, or you never, or, things like that. Definitely get curious, because people see things in a different way than we do, and that's okay for people to have different perspectives about what happened because they're different people. Actually, apologize and do better. Try not to get defensive. Where does defensiveness come from? It comes from not being able to see yourself the way you want to see yourself. Like, if you're going to tell me that I hurt you, I don't get to see myself in a way that I kind of like. But actually, I find that when we own things and take responsibility, we actually garner a whole lot more respect and compassion from other people. And then you have compassion for yourself. I messed up. Okay, I really messed up. And I'm human, and I know I'm trying, and I'll do better next time. And there are other people in this world. We can honor ourselves in that way. So conflict does not have to be anything that is dishonoring to anybody. And we need to be able to approach safe people so that we can have healthier relationships. If you come out of abuse, there'll be a tendency to people please, which doesn't do anybody any favors. And so let's be brave. Let's get brave, and let's talk to people about the things that hurt us, so that we can navigate our relationships in a healthy way. We must have conflict in order to be healthy, and it needs to be healthy conflict. All right. Thank you so much. See you soon.